And she has some very good reasons why this person is going to receive it.
Several months ago, one of my colleagues at the City of Dallas showed a grave lapse of judgment in awarding the highest honor that the city can bestow, our key to the city, on someone who was entirely undeserving, on someone who had shown serious cruelty and inhumanity to many of our canine friends. And we had a wonderful education from Richard Hunter, who came before the City of Dallas City Council and who reminded us that his adoption of Mel and his incorporation of one of Michael Vick's dogs into his own family had enriched his life and had helped one of our canine friends build trust again. And he also reminded the City Council that it's not really a great idea to hand out keys to the city to convicted felons. Richard, you've done so much for animals and for educating officials at the City of Dallas. And I'd like to bring you up here now to honor you. Yes. Now, I have to ask you some questions. I have to ask you some questions because, you know, we've really tried to change our policy at the City of Dallas and granting keys to the city. And you've helped with that, and I thank you for that. But we want to honor you and Mel with an edible key to the city. And let me show this to everyone. It's quite lovely. This is an edible key to the city for Mel, and Mel will love it. But I have to ask you first, is Mel a convicted felon?
No.
No. Then here is the beautiful honorary edible key to the city on behalf of the City of Dallas. Richard, thank you for everything you've done. Wonderful. We appreciate it. And here is an even bigger key to the city. How about that?
Thank you guys. Wow. You didn't get this from Dwayne Caraway, did you? This might be a knockoff. Okay, so that's official. Well, thank you guys first. I'd make this quick. I just want to mention a couple of people. First of all, before I mention anybody else, my wife Sunny, who is here, who really is every bit a part of this as I am, and she's Mel's mom. And Michael Vick may not have liked meeting me when he was here for the Super Bowl, but he will have a more unfiltered conversation should he ever have the misfortune of crossing my wife. So I thank her. Yeah. Also, the folks at Best Friends Animal Society in Utah, they are the sanctuary that took in Mel, the 22 of the other Vicktory dogs, who, when many, even animal rights groups were arguing that these dogs should be put down. Best Friends said, no, we'll take them, and if they can't be adopted, worst case, they'll live out their lives here. And of course, Mel and several other ones have been adopted, and they've done a great job, so I want to mention them. I was just particularly flattered when I found out somebody wanted to give me this award for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's got John LaBella's name on it, and I listen to John LaBella driving to and from school every day in elementary school. And I remember him from the days of KZEW, so this is particularly special that it has his name on it. I know Kinky Friedman got this last year. When it comes to dog rescue, he is a personal hero of mine. And also it's really nice to be receiving this with Ms. Loretta Swit, who also has a childhood connotation to me, because whenever I would hear the closing theme to MASH, that was my cue to start lobbying for 15 more minutes to stay up. Every week. I hear it to this day, and that's what happens. I do want to quickly let you guys know that, doing a talk radio show, I started talking about this story years ago now, as it happened when the Vic bus first went down, not ever even knowing that my wife and I would be getting one of the dogs eventually. And I was so wrong about people, because I remember saying day after day on the show, you know, this guy's done. This is such a horrible thing that even after he's out of prison, nobody will have anything to do with him, let alone watch him play football. And I was really, really, unfortunately, wrong about that. I think it was two things. I think that a lot of people elevate professional football to that of de facto religion in this country. But I think the other part of the problem was that they were pit bulls. And I think that the sympathy was tempered. I think people thought, you know, that's a terrible thing that happened to those dogs, but you know, those pit bulls. And that's something that needs to change. And and so that's something we're reminded of having Mel every day. When all of this really started to get national attention, of course, was over the weekend that the Super Bowl was here. And, you know, I went down to confront Michael Vick about two specific questions that no one in the media ever seems to ask him. He's starting to talk about how unfortunate it is that his children can't have a dog. He's starting to play the kid card. Well, it's just tough because I have to tell my kids we can't have a dog because of what I did. Well, anybody who takes the time to read the public record of Michael Vick's confession, backed by eyewitness testimony, knows that on two separate occasions he took his children's dogs, not pit bulls, just his children's domesticated dogs, and threw them into the pit to their death and laughed while it happened. Someone needs to ask him what happened to the pets that his children did have and why they need new ones. And I also wanted to talk to him about his rehabilitation. You know, he's starting to talk about rehabilitation, and someone needs to say, well, tell us about your rehabilitation. You see a therapist once a week, 3 times a week? Do they travel on the road with you? Because the reality of it is, none of that is court-ordered. That's just sort of a word that he throws around, and I know these interviews are handpicked, but I really wanted to see him held accountable on those two issues. Now, he was not interested in speaking with me, but quite by accident, I caught the now acting mayor of Dwayne Caraway gleefully, like a teenage girl meeting Justin Bieber, presenting him with the key to the city. And got that on video, and then as Ms. Hunt pointed out, went down to the city council to speak to them about it. Not only will he not so much as acknowledge my presence, no one on that city council, no one, with one exception, will even so much as return a phone call, and they've had multiple opportunities, and that one exception is Angela Hunt. She's standing here with me, and I appreciate that. And I guess if anybody needs to get some business conducted in this town, they're going to have to wait till 10 when this is over with. I wish she was on that mayoral ballot next weekend. Maybe she will be next time. And, you know, I also want to quickly mention the families, the other families who adopted the Vicktory dogs, because we are all in touch with each other. And when Oprah Winfrey announced that she had booked Michael Vick for an interview a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl, her producers contacted the families of the adopted dogs and asked us if we would participate in the show. Well, we all said yes, and they told Michael Vick, and guess who suddenly remembered he had a scheduling conflict? He didn't want any part of that. But I tell you, I want to say that I was no stranger to media exposure, but what I was not prepared for was that anybody would question my intentions. And in the week that followed the video going online, I did all these interviews, and particularly with sports radio and sports journalists all across the country, I kept getting my questions, my intentions questioned, and I couldn't understand that. I thought after I explained what my dog goes through every day and that this is why I feel this way, I didn't expect for somebody to say, and I came to realize that what I think it really amounts to is that very few people ever stand up for anything, ever. And so when they see someone do it, they don't understand what they're looking at. They think there must be a payoff somewhere, or why else would someone do that? And I think I've got that in common with all you guys here tonight and the Eastlake Pet Orphanage. And that's what makes everybody here in this facility very, very special. And, you know, I think too often we pick the wrong heroes. I will tell you that I thought for a long time about what that confrontation with Michael Vick would be like. And I was prepared for this sort of cold, evil stare looking back at me. And what I got was actually much more chilling, because there was nothing but a vacancy. There's nothing there. He's broken, and he doesn't understand what all this fuss is about. And that's chilling. And that is why we have the epidemic that we have. From world-class animal abusers like him, all the way down to simple neglect. That's why there is a need for the Eastlake Pet Orphanage. That's why there is a need for volunteers. And that's why it is so great that you guys are here tonight. So I just want to let you know that emotionally, the last couple of months for myself and my wife, we've spent a lot of time asking ourselves over and over again, what the hell is wrong with people? And tonight, you guys have given us a chance to see what's right about people. And I appreciate you guys for that, and thank you. This is going to get gobbled up as soon as we get home, I'm sure. So thank you guys very much. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this. Thank you. So one more thing, I want to thank, what's the photographer's name? Robin Jackson. In addition to this awesome award, Robin Jackson Photography wants to do a portrait session with our family. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Robin, if you're here tonight. Thanks for the award, and you guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
Presenting our second John LaBella Award is Elaine Munch, who's the president of the Metroplex Animal Coalition, or MAC. Elaine's been active in